I've been driving a taxi for 20 years, but I'd never had a passenger like her. Her name was Mary, and she seemed to be able to read everyone's soul. That night, 7 miracles happened in Chicago. Asterisk spending 20 years behind the wheel on Chicago's streets changes a person. You hear every kind of story, meet every type of person. You carry the rich and the poor, the happy and the broken, but none of them affect you that much until the night you meet Mary. My name is Tony Ricci. I'm 52 years old and one of countless drivers working for Chicago Yellow Cab Company. I'm the son of Italian immigrant family. My father and grandfather both sweated in this city. I followed their path, but in a slightly different way. I started driving taxi at 32. Before that, I worked construction, but after an accident, my back gave out. When the doctor said you can't lift heavy things anymore, I was left with no options. My wife Angela suggested taxi driving. At least, you'll work sitting down, amor, she said with a laugh. Angela, odd Angela. We were married for 15 years. We never had children, but we were enough for each other. We had a small house in Logan Square. Every evening when I came home, I was greeted by the warm smell of food from the kitchen and her sweet voice. Until cancer took her from us 3 years ago. After losing Angela, the house started feeling like a tomb. Silence seemed to stick to the walls. Every corner held her memories, but she herself was no longer there. I changed at work too. I used to chat with customers, joke around. Now I just asked, "Where are we going?" and drove in silence. My work buddies started getting worried. Danny O'Connor, an Irish friend who started the same time as me, kept insisting, "Tony, have some fun, go out." But how could I have fun without Angela? The world felt empty to me. That night, October 15th, 2023, I was on Sunday night shift. Fall had come to Chicago. Leaves were turning yellow and starting to fall. It was cold and drizzling lightly. On nights like these, the city looks even more gloomy. Neon lights reflect on wet asphalt. People walk with hurried steps, everyone lost in their own troubles. Business usually slows down after midnight. Between bargoers coming and going, nurses and doctors returning from night shifts, the streets pretty much empty out by 3 a.m. I usually cruise around Millennium Park during these hours, waiting for customers who need rides until morning. Sometimes, there are people trying to catch late flights or arriving from the airport. That night I was doing the same thing. I was cruising slowly on Michigan Avenue. The radio was on, but volume was low. Classic rock was playing. When Hotel California started, I turned it up a bit. Angela loved this song. I remembered the days we used to dance together. We'd push aside the coffee tables in our small living room. I'd take her hand and we'd turn slowly. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave, as these lyrics echoed in my mind. My eyes filled up. Angela was gone, but her memories never let me go. It felt like I could never escape from this city, this life. Just then I saw movement in my rearview mirror. Someone seemed to be waving from behind. I immediately braked and looked back. On North Michigan Avenue, in front of Marshall Field's store, a woman was standing. She was wearing a blue dress, had a thin shawl on her head. Despite standing in the rain, she didn't look wet. I pulled over and rolled down the window. "Do you need a taxi, ma'am?" The woman approached. She seemed to be in her mid-30s. Her face had a calm and peaceful expression. Her eyes were very deep and compassionate, as if she had suffered for years but made peace with life. "Yes, thank you," she said in a soft voice. She had a Spanish accent, but her English was perfect. She opened the back door and got in. "My name is Mary," she said. "What's yours?" "Tony. Tony Ricci," I said. The simple introduction surprised me because most customers don't give their names. They just give their address. "Beautiful name, Tony. It comes from St. Anthony, doesn't it?" "Yes, it does, ma'am." "Where would you like to go?" Mary was quiet for a while. I was watching her in the rearview mirror. She had closed her eyes, as if she was praying. Then she opened her eyes and said, "Tony, you look very tired today. When was the last time you truly rested?" This question surprised me. Customers usually don't ask personal questions. "I'm fine, ma'am. Just been a long day." "Could you tell me where you'd like to go?" "Let's go to St. Mary of the Angels Church first." She said, "On Hermitage Street." I knew this church. In Bucktown neighborhood, an old Italian area. Many Italian families used to live there, but now most had moved due to gentrification. The church was still open, but not as lively as before. As I drove, Mary continued talking. "Tony, are you married?" "I'm a widower," I said shortly. I didn't want to open this topic. "I'm sorry." "How long has it been?" 3 years, I said. My voice barely came out. "You loved Angela very much, didn't you?" This time I was really surprised. "How did she know my wife's name, ma'am?" "How do you know my wife's name?" Mary smiled. It was a very sweet and peaceful smile. "Tony, some things speak in the language of the heart. You didn't mention Angela, but your love is still there, in your eyes, in your voice. You've been driving the same route for 20 years, listening to the same songs, living with the same memories. But Tony, Angela is trying to push you forward. You just can't hear her yet." My hands on the steering wheel started trembling. Who could this woman be? How could she know so much about me? "Mum, who are you?" "I'm just Mary, Tony. And tonight I need to help some people with your company." When we arrived at St. Mary of the Angels Church, it was 3:15. The church was dark, but at Mary's request, we stopped in front of it. The church was neo-Gothic style, large and majestic. Built in 1914, it was one of Chicago's oldest Italian Catholic churches. "Can you wait a minute, Tony?" Mary said. "It won't take long." She got out of the car and walked toward the church. The main door was locked, of course, but I saw Mary touch the door. Suddenly, a faint light began seeping from the church as if someone had lit a candle inside. About 10 minutes later, she returned. Her face had a peaceful expression. "Thank you, Tony. Now let's go to West Town, on Milwaukee Avenue." As I drove, I started asking about the things I was curious about. "Mary, what did you do in the church at this hour?" I prayed. "Tony, sometimes we hear each other better in silence." As we drove toward West Town, Mary suddenly said, "Stop." We stopped in front of a small apartment building on Superior Street. The building was old, its exterior unpainted and neglected. A typical low-income family apartment. "Tony, look at that building," Mary said. "Do you see the window on the second floor? The light is on." Indeed, there was a light on in a window on the second floor, and a very faint crying sound was coming from inside. It was a child's voice. "Someone's baby is crying, I guess," I said. "Diego," Mary said softly. 8 months old. His fever hasn't broken for 3 days. His mother is alone. Father left 2 months ago. She has no money to take him to hospital, no insurance either." "How do you know these things?" Instead of answering, Mary got out of the car. "Come with me, Tony. Tonight you'll be my witness." The building entrance was open. The security system was probably broken. We went up to the second floor. The baby's crying could be heard more clearly in the hallway. Mary knocked on apartment to be. A young woman's voice came from inside. "Who is it at this hour?" "Someone sent me, Isabella," Mary said in Spanish. "I came for your child." The door cracked open. A Latina girl in her 20s appeared, looking very tired. Her eyes were red. It was obvious she had been crying. She held a very small baby in her arms. The baby was bright red from fever, breathing with difficulty. "Who are you?" Isabella said suspiciously. "My name is Mary. This is my friend." "Tony, we heard your prayers, Isabella. We came to help Diego." Isabella's eyes filled up. "Doctor is too expensive. Emergency room requires waiting, but insurance. God, my baby is going to die." Mary went inside and took Diego in her arms. The baby immediately calmed down. He stopped crying and looked at Mary's face. Mary murmured something in Spanish, as if singing a lullaby. "Pequeño angel, no tengas miedo. Tu mama te ama mucho, little angel. Don't be afraid. Your mama loves you very much." Then she touched the baby's forehead and closed her eyes. There was silence for about a minute. Then Diego started laughing. His fever had broken. His face had returned to normal. Isabella screamed, "Dios mío, es un milagro." My God, it's a miracle. Mary handed the baby back to his mother. "Diego's fever is down, but take him to a doctor tomorrow anyway. Also, Isabella, Perdón por el QT día. El regresará cuando esté listo. Don't blame yourself for the one who left you. He'll return when he's ready. Isabella hugged Mary while crying. I was left stunned. In my 20 years of taxi driving, nothing had affected me this much. As we went downstairs, I asked Mary, what happened up there? How did the baby suddenly get better? Tony, what do you believe in? I don't know anymore. I used to be Catholic, but after Angela died, faith isn't about losing. Tony, faith is about continuing to find. You'll see many things tonight, but first tell me, do you really want to believe? After leaving the apartment, Mary said, now let's go to Lincoln Park. It was approaching 4 a.m. Chicago's streets were very quiet. Only occasionally a police car or ambulance would pass by. Near Lincoln Park Zoo, Mary said, stop again. A police car was parked at the park entrance. Two police officers were talking to an elderly man. The man looked very worried, holding a photograph in his hand. Harold Peterson, Mary said, 67 years old, retired teacher. His granddaughter Chloe is missing, 7 years old. They've been searching for 3 hours. How do you know this information, Mary? And how are there so many coincidences tonight? First the sick baby, now the missing child. Tony, there's no such thing as coincidence. There are only connections. We can't see yet. Mary got out of the car and walked toward the elderly man. I followed her. The police looked at us a bit suspiciously. Excuse me, Mary said to the elderly man. Can I help? Are you looking for your granddaughter? Harold nodded painfully. Chloe, I lost her while playing hide and seek in the park. After dark fell, I'm a night guard here. Chloe sometimes comes with me, sleeps in the guard hut. But tonight, one of the officers intervened. Mom, we have the situation under control. Our search efforts are continuing. Of course, Mary said respectfully. I just wanted to help. Do you know Chloe's favorite places? Harold immediately jumped in. She loves the Penguin Pool very much. And there's a small island in Lincoln Park Lagoon. She always wants to go there too. Mary thought for a bit. Harold, can Chloe hear your voice from far away? Yes, she knows it very well. I always call her Little Star. Then come with me, Mary said. She turned to the police officer. We'll check the lagoon area. You look at the Penguin Pool. The police agreed. We entered the park. Harold was very worried, constantly shouting, Chloe, Little Star. Lincoln Park Lagoon is a large pond with a small island in the middle. It was quite dark at night, but moonlight was faintly illuminating the area. Mary looked toward the water and said there, a small figure could be seen near the island. Chloe was there, but how had she gotten to the island? Chloe, Harold shouted. Little Star, is that you? A small voice came. Grandpa Harold, I'm here but I'm scared. Harold tried to enter the water, but he was too old and it was dangerous. Wait, Harold, Mary said. Then she turned to me. Tony, can you do something for me? Of course. What do you want? Do you have a blanket in your car? Yes. In the trunk. Please get it. I brought the blanket. Mary took the blanket and started walking toward the water, but her feet didn't seem to touch the water. As if she was walking on water, she moved toward the island. Harold and I watched in amazement. This was impossible. Humans can't walk on water. Mary reached the island and took Chloe in her arms. The little girl was cold and scared, but healthy. Mary wrapped her in the blanket and came back the same way, walking on water. Grandpa, Chloe shouted and jumped into Harold's arms. Little Star, I was so scared of losing you. Mary turned to me. The same peaceful expression was on her face. Tony, don't tell anyone about what you saw. It's not time yet. The police came and were very happy when they learned the situation. Harold thanked us. Chloe was fine and would be taken home. As we returned to the car, my mind was in turmoil. How would I explain what I saw tonight? Mary, who are you really? Humans can't walk on water. This is supernatural. Tony, what do you think you saw? I don't know, miracle or illusion. Am I going crazy? Sometimes real miracles come in the simplest ways. What matters is not what happened, but why it happened. It was getting to 4:30. Normally at this time I would head home, but tonight everything was different. Mary seemed to be showing me a new world. "Tony, where do you want to go now?" Mary said. "Am I deciding?" "Yes, be the guide tonight for a bit." I thought about it. I remembered where I went most after losing. "Angela, we could go to Navy Pier. I sometimes watch the sunrise from there. Good choice." Mary said that as we drove toward Navy Pier on Lakeshore Drive, there was no traffic. Chicago's skyline sparkled in the darkness of night. The city was sleeping. But we were awake. When we arrived at Navy Pier, the park was empty. There were only a few security guards. After parking the car, Mary said, "Let's walk a bit." As we walked toward the end of the pier, Mary asked me, "Tony, did you ever think about suicide after losing Angela?" This question hit me because it was true, especially the first year. I had thought about it several times. "Yes," I said in a low voice, "especially the first year. But I couldn't do it. Angela wouldn't want such a thing." "Angela is here now, beside you," Mary said. "Can't you feel her?" I looked around. "No, I don't feel anything, because your grief is too great. But she's always with you, Tony, and she's protecting you." As we approached the end of the pier, we saw a lone figure, a young man, 25 to 30 years old, standing at the edge of the fence. He was looking at the lake and seemed very sad. "David Chen," Mary said, 28 years old, software engineer. "He lost his job yesterday. His girlfriend also left him. He's thinking about jumping right now. What should we do? You talk to him. I'll handle the rest." I approached the young man. "Hi, I'm Tony. Are you okay?" David turned and looked at me. His eyes were red. It was obvious he had been crying. I'm fine. Just came out for some air. Being alone here at this hour is dangerous." "Did something happen?" David broke down. "Everything's over. My job, my love, my dreams. There's no reason to live anymore." Mary came next to us. "David, I'm Mary, Tony's friend." David looked at her and suddenly seemed to calm down. There was such compassion in Mary's eyes that it immediately affected people. "David, tell me about your dreams," Mary said. I wanted to make video games, educational games for children, but nobody liked my ideas. They said not commercial. So, is this dream worth giving up on? Who's going to listen now? No money, no job, nobody." Mary touched his shoulder. "David, the games you create will help millions of children one day. But first you need to help yourself. How is this possible? I have nothing if you exist. Everything exists. And David, sit at the Starbucks on Michigan Avenue at 2 p.m. tomorrow. You'll receive a very important phone call." David was surprised. "What phone call?" "Trust me." "And David, go home tonight. Call your mother. She's very worried too." David started crying. "Mom, I haven't been able to call for 2 weeks. Because I'm ashamed. Mothers always forgive, David. Because a mother's love is unconditional." When Mary said these words, there was such a tone in her voice as if an experienced mother was speaking. David hugged Mary while crying. "Thank you. I don't know who you are, but thank you." We put David in a taxi and sent him home. Mary was very quiet after this incident. "Mary, is that phone call thing real?" I didn't interfere with David's destiny. "Tony, I just told him the timing of what was already going to happen. Sometimes the universe arranges coincidences." It was 5:15. Sunrise was approaching. Mary said we need to go to one more place, to South Side, Bronzeville area. Bronzeville was Chicago's historic African-American neighborhood. It used to be known as Black Metropolis. Now some parts had gone through gentrification. Some parts were still struggling with economic difficulties. When we arrived on 35th Street, we saw a small police commotion. There were ambulance, fire department, and police cars. A small house seemed to have caught fire. Demarcus Williams's house, Mary said, 9 years old. His mother, Keisha, is a nurse, works night shift. Fire broke out at home tonight. When we went to the police, we learned the situation. The house burned due to electrical outlet. Demarcus and his 6-year-old sister Zoe were inside. Zoe was rescued, but Demarcus was missing. Firefighters were still searching. Keisha Williams was standing by the ambulance crying. She was wearing nurse clothes, probably rushed from the hospital. "Where's my baby? Where's Demarcus?" she was shouting. Mary approached her. Keisha, I'm Mary. We'll find Demarcus. Keisha looked at Mary. Who are you? Are you police? No, just someone who wants to help. Where's Demarcus's favorite hiding place? Basement. There's a basement, but firefighters looked. Is there a special place in the basement? Somewhere. Only he knows. Keisha thought. Old boiler closet. He hides his toys there. But it's a very narrow space. He can't be there. Mary went to the fire chief. Did you check the boiler closet? Mum, we searched everywhere. The child is not there. Can we look again, please? The fire chief agreed. We went down to the basement. The fire had especially affected the upper floor, but the basement was smoky. Firefighters searched with flashlights. The old boiler closet was really very narrow. An adult couldn't fit, but a child could. Mary approached the closet and said very softly, Demarcus, baby, are you here? A very weak voice came from inside. Mama, Mama, is that you? Firefighters immediately opened the closet. Demarcus was there, conscious but scared and coughing from smoke inhalation. Mama, Mama. The child cried. Keisha ran and hugged her son. My baby, I thought I lost you. Demarcus was taken to hospital for control, but there was nothing serious. He had just inhaled some smoke. Keisha hugged Mary. I don't know how to thank you. You're an angel. Mary smiled. I'm just Mary, and you're a wonderful mother, Keisha. Demarcus and Zoe are lucky children. Keisha said while crying, I have to work night shift. I'm raising them alone. Sometimes I feel so bad. I think I can't be a good enough mother. Keisha, look at me. Mary said in a serious tone. You work every night for them. You struggle to feed them, clothe them, educate them. This is the most sacred job in the world. And your children love you very much. But they don't have a father, no money. Money comes and goes. But a mother's love is eternal. When Demarcus and Zoe grow up, they'll remember you, your sacrifice, your love. Keisha started crying again, but this time they were tears of happiness. As we returned to the car, I was also affected by this incident. Mary, you're a mother, aren't you? Mary was quiet for a long time. Then she said, yes, Tony. I'm a mother, the mother of all lost children, all broken hearts. It was getting to 6 o'clock. Sunrise had begun in Chicago. The sky was starting to turn pink. Mary said there's one more stop. Let's go to Little Village. Little Village was considered the heart of Chicago's Mexican community. Thousands of Mexican families lived on 26th Street. It was a beautiful community, but there was also gang violence in the area. When we arrived at the corner of 26th Street and Albany Avenue, we saw a strange scene. There was a large mural on the street wall, Virgin of Guadalupe. Under the picture, a young man was kneeling. He was in his 20s, had tattooed arms, wearing gang clothes, but he was kneeling and crying. Carlos Rodriguez, Mary said, 22 years old, leader of Los Santos gang. Last night his brother Miguel died in a clash with police. We parked the car next to them. Carlos was still kneeling under the Virgin of Guadalupe mural, crying. He had a rosary in his tattooed hands. Mary got out of the car and approached Carlos. Carlos, are you here? Carlos raised his head. His eyes were bright red. He had cried a lot. I'm a very sinful man. God won't forgive me. Carlos, tell me about Miguel. Miguel, he was clean. He didn't get involved with gangs. He was a university student. Last night he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Got caught in the clash and died. Carlos's voice was trembling. I always committed the sins. Why did he die? Why not me? Mary sat next to him. Carlos, Miguel is at peace now, but you still have work to do. What work? I only know violence. Guns, drugs, gang wars. You're a leader, Carlos. People listen to you. You can spread peace, not violence. Carlos shook his head. Impossible. Gangs don't work that way. The strong one wins. Mary showed him the rosary. This rosary is from your mother, isn't it? Carlos was surprised. Yes, how do you know? I took it when my mother died, but I hadn't carried it for years. Why did you bring it tonight? I don't know. It was like a voice said, take it and go. Carlos, your mother is watching you now, and she's very sad, but also hopeful, because you can change. Carlos started crying. I did very bad things. How can I change? One step, one day. First put down the guns, then offer peace to the gangs. It won't be easy, but it's possible. What if others don't accept? If you change, they'll change too. That's what leadership is. During this time, I was also affected. I was watching Carlos's transformation. With my own eyes, the tough gang leader was turning into a fragile young man. Mary, I know how dangerous these gangs can be, I said. Carlos's life will be at risk. Tony, sometimes you have to take risks to do the right thing. Carlos stood up. He put the rosary around his neck. I'll try. I'll try for Miguel. Mary touched him. Carlos, whenever you have a hard time, hold this rosary and remember your mother's love. She's protecting you. Carlos walked toward the car. Thank you. Thank you both. As Carlos got in the car, I looked at him. He was standing under the mural, praying to the Virgin of Guadalupe. He seemed like a completely different person. Sunrise had fully begun. Chicago's skyline was illuminated with golden light. Mary said, last stop. Let's go to Little Italy. Little Italy was where I spent my childhood. There were still some old Italian restaurants and shops on Taylor Street, but it wasn't as Italian as it used to be. Let's go to Mario's restaurant, Mary said. I knew Mario's restaurant very well. I used to come with my father as a child. It was an old-style Italian restaurant with family photos and Italian landscapes hanging on the walls. The restaurant was closed at this hour, of course, but in the back street, an old man was sitting, smoking. His hair was white. He looked very old. Sal Benedetto, Mary said, 78 years old. He's lived here for 50 years. His wife Rosa died 5 years ago. He's been very lonely since then. We parked and approached the old man. Sal, buongiorno, Mary said. In Italian, Sal raised his head. Buongiorno, signora. Do I know you? I'm Mary. This is Tony Ricci. When Sal heard my last name, he became interested. Ricci, are you Italian? Yes. My grandfather's family probably knew you here. Ah, Ricci family. Of course I knew them. Giuseppe Ricci, very good man. Are you his grandson? Yes, I said in surprise. I wasn't expecting to meet someone who knew my grandfather. Sal smiled. Giuseppe always talked about his grandson. Mio nipo Tony, he always said. He was very proud of you. This information affected me. My grandfather had died when I was very small. I hadn't known him much. Sal, Mary said. You miss Rosa very much, don't you? Sal's eyes filled up. We were married for 50 years. Every morning we drank coffee together. Every evening we prayed together. Now the house is too quiet. Does Rosa have things she left you? She has her rosary. She always carried it. But I don't pray anymore. I'm angry at God. Why did he take her? Why did he leave me alone? Mary sat next to Sal. Sal, where do you think Rosa is now? I don't know. I used to say heaven, but now I don't believe in anything. Well, how does Rosa remember you? A good husband, an honest man, and did these change after Rosa died? Sal thought. No, but Sal, Rosa didn't love you because you loved her. She loved you because you're a good person, and this will never change. Mary stood up and held Sal's hands. Rosa is here now with us. She sees your sadness and she's praying for you. Sal started crying. Rosa, Rosa, are you really here? At that moment a light breeze blew. Sal's shirt waved slightly. The flowers near the signore also swayed. That breeze, Sal said in surprise. Rosa always did that. She'd open the window. Wanted fresh air. Mary smiled. Rosa says, Sal, be strong, amor mio. Ti amo sempre, Sal. Be strong, my love. I always love you. Sal's face changed, as if the weight he'd been carrying for years had fallen. Rosa, ti sento, amor, ti sento, Rosa. I feel you, love. I feel you. Closing parenthesis. Sal stood up and hugged us. Gracie Mill. There's hope in my heart again. Asterisk after the last stop. Mary said, now let me take you home, Tony. As I drove toward my house in Logan Square, my mind was very confused. What I experienced tonight felt like a dream. I had seen 7 different miracles. 7 different lives had changed. Mary, Was what happened tonight real? Tony, what do you think? I don't know. I saw so much. Who are you really? I told you. I'm Mary, the mother of all lost souls, all broken hearts. When we arrived in front of my house, sunrise was completely done. Chicago was waking up to a new day. Mary, are you going to leave me now? Tony, I never left you. You just couldn't see me. What do you mean? Mary smiled. After losing Angela, how many times did you want to die? Many times, but you didn't die. Why? I thought, I don't know. It was like a force was stopping me. That force was love, Tony, Angela's love, God's love, and my love. You really, who am I, Tony? At that moment I saw something in my car's rearview mirror. Mary's face in the mirror looked very bright, as if it was illuminated from inside, and there was a very faint halo around her head. Are you the Virgin Mary? Mary just smiled. Tony, your life will change from today. You won't just think about yourself anymore. You'll help others. How? I'm just a taxi driver. You're much more than that. You're a repairer of broken hearts, a guide of lost souls. You meet new people every day. You can help them. But how will I know who I need to help? Your heart will tell you. Angela's voice, my voice, will always be with you. At that moment, a very sweet smell started coming from the car. Rose scent, incense scent, and something else. Angela's perfume. Angela, I said, crying. Angela, are you here? Angela was always here, Tony. You were just focused on your grief, but she protected you every day, was with you every night. My tears couldn't be stopped. For the first time in 3 years, I felt Angela beside me. Angela, I missed you so much, Amor Mio. Mary put her hand on my shoulder. Tony, Angela says, don't be sad anymore. I'm at peace. You be happy too. Help others. This is my last wish. But how will I do this? Starting tomorrow. Really listen to every customer. Hear their stories. If someone needs help, help them. There might not be such big miracles, but small kindnesses are also miracles. Mary started getting out of the car. Tony, I need to go now. Are you leaving? Will I see you again? I'm always here, Tony. Every day, every moment. You'll just be able to feel me now. Mary got out of the car. The morning sun was illuminating her. She looked so beautiful, as if she wasn't from this world. Mary, wait, I said, and got out of the car. But Mary wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. There was only a faint rose scent in the air. I stood there alone, stunned. I was wondering if what I saw was real. Asterisk. I couldn't sleep that day. I was reliving the night in my head over and over. 7 miracles, 7 changed lives, and my own transformation. When I went to evening shift, everything looked different. It was the same city, but I wasn't the same Tony anymore. My first customer was an elderly woman. She was coming out of the hospital. Where are we going? Ma'am, North Side. Please, Ilston Street. Normally I would drive silently, wouldn't talk to the customer, but this time I did differently. Was it a hospital visit? Yes, my husband had surgery, heart surgery. Get well soon. How did it go? It went well, thank God. But it scared me a lot. I understand. The fear of losing a spouse is very difficult. The woman started crying. Yes, exactly that. We've been married for 45 years. I can't think of losing him. Don't worry, ma'am. Love is powerful. He'll recover. Are you married too? I'm a widower. But my wife's love is still with me. When I dropped the woman off at her home, she gave me extra tip. Thank you. I really needed this conversation. That night I had 6 more customers. I talked to each one, listened to their stories. I gave job advice to one person, suggested solutions for family problems to another, and one thanked me just for listening. The next day I saw a news story in the newspaper. Gang leader calls for peace. Carlos Rodriguez had called on his gang to lay down weapons, rejected violence. He had requested meetings with other gang leaders. Another news story, Bronzeville hero child. Demarcus Williams had recovered after being rescued from the fire and said he wanted to become a firefighter. David Chen's news came a week later. Young entrepreneur receives major investment for educational game. David had received funding from an investor he met at the Starbucks on Michigan Avenue. Every news story confirmed what Mary had said that night. A month later, while driving the same route at the same time, a woman waved on Michigan Avenue. She was in front of Marshall Field's store. She was wearing a blue dress. My heartbeat quickened. Was it Mary? I pulled over. Do you need a taxi? The woman approached, but it wasn't Mary. It was someone else. Yes, thank you. I was a bit disappointed, but the woman got in the car. My name is Maria, she said. What's yours? Tony. Tony Ricci. Beautiful name. It comes from St. Anthony, doesn't it? This sounded familiar. Mary had said the same thing. Yes, it does. Where would you like to go? To St. Mary of the Angels. Church, she said. The same church. My heartbeat quickened again. As we drove toward the church, Maria talked. Tony, are you married? I'm a widower, I said. I'm sorry. You loved Angela very much, didn't you? This time I wasn't surprised. I smiled. Yes, I loved her very much. And I still love her. Angela is proud of you, Tony. Because you're helping others now. Are you like Mary too? Maria smiled. I'm just Maria, Tony. But you understand now, don't you? Miracles happen every night. You just need eyes to see them. Yes, I understand. We need to help other people tonight too. Can I come with you? Of course. Where are we going? You guide, Tony. Your heart will tell you. And that night another adventure began. Other lives, other miracles, other hopes. Now I understood. Mary, Maria, or other names, she was always there. I wasn't alone. Angela was with me too. And on Chicago's streets there were lost souls, all needing goodness, love, miracles. I was no longer just a taxi driver. I was the driver of hope. I was the guide of love. And every night, with every customer, I continued this mission. I had been driving taxi for 20 years, but my real journey had started that night with Mary. And it would never end. This is the story I told you. Maybe you won't believe it. Maybe you'll call it a dream. But I know what happened that night was real. Because my life changed. And not just mine. The lives of the 7 people I met that night also changed. Diego is now healthy and growing. Chloe is even closer to her grandfather. David's gaming company is growing. Demarcus is preparing to become a firefighter. Carlos is now a peace ambassador. Sal has started praying again. And me, I'm no longer alone. If you ever call a taxi in Chicago one night, and the driver who gets in the car says I'm Tony Ricci, know that you'll have a slightly different journey that night. Because Mary is still there, every night, every moment, waiting for us. And who knows, maybe that night you'll be blessed with a miracle too. Because miracles never end. You just need hearts to see them. Did this story give you hope? Subscribe. And don't miss similar real miracle stories. Because sometimes the brightest lights are born on the darkest nights.